Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the weather forecast. My name is Mr. G, your friendly neighborhood meteorologist. Guys, it is Tuesday night. We are about in the midpoint of the week. Tomorrow's Wednesday, hump day, and we're going to have that midweek weather forecast for you. And unfortunately, I got some crappy news to report. And Halloween is not going to look good for a lot of folks this year. And we're going to see some real wintry type weather. Got some severe weather. There's even some tropical weather. So a lot to talk about. So we won't have a city of the day today. Every city will be the city of the day. But we have a lot to go over. So we don't have time for that. So let's jump into that first map where we're going to be looking at a wet setup into Thursday, and we're going to be seeing a lot of rain and thunderstorms here through the Midwest and across the southern plains from southwest Texas all the way up into the upper Midwest near the Great Lakes, so Lake Michigan and Lake Superior, down through Wisconsin and Minnesota, down all the way into Texas to the Mexican border. A lot of rain and a lot of thunderstorms as well. We saw a lot of severe weather across the Twin Cities today and that rainfall. So that rain will continue through the night and into the morning tomorrow. We're going to see a lot of wet weather this week. A lot of wet weather from that changing weather patterns. We have a very strong jet stream dropping down across the southwestern United States, and this strong jet stream is fueling a very strong storm system that's going to be moving across the Rockies with much colder air, heavy snow, some blizzard conditions for some of you folks out there across the Rockies and the high plains. We could pick up a foot of snow across parts of Montana and Wyoming and possibly into the Dakotas later on this week. So we do have significant winter weather. It's going to feel like January by the time we get to Halloween, and this weekend it's going to feel like January across much of the upper Midwest, the plains, and the Rockies. So it's going to be bone cold out there, a lot of snow. We have severe weather that we're continuing with, but it's not all bad for everybody. But look how beautiful it is across the Southwest and into the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. So beautiful weather along the eastern seaboard and the eastern Great Lakes, across the Mid-South and the Ohio Valley. So beautiful for the next several days. But that tropical moisture, this is moisture from the remnants of Hurricane Norma that struck Mexico, and that moisture has traveled across the Mexican mainland here and into southwestern Texas, where that moisture is being picked up by our advancing storm system coming out of the Rockies across the upper Midwest, and that is making for a lot of heavy rain and severe weather. Much needed rainfall across southwestern Texas and Oklahoma. They are in a drought situation deficit, but they could see as much as 8 inches of rain across parts of central Texas. There are places like Amarillo, Fort Stockton, Dallas, Fort Worth. Again, we can see that in Lubbock, Texas as well. We can see that heavy rainfall all the way up to Oklahoma City and Ponca City in Oklahoma. So again, much needed rainfall, a little bit too fast to absorb into the ground. So flash flooding will definitely be a problem, and we're going to see that across a good portion of the Midwest over the next couple of days as this storm system traverses across the center of the nation toward the east and the northeast. So that is going to make for stormy weather across the northeast for yet another weekend in a row. 8 consecutive weekends of stormy weather and wet weather across the northeast. We're going to jump into that just a moment. Now, here is the storm system that's bringing that wet and severe weather across parts of the Midwest. So your day on Wednesday is going to be chilly across the West Coast and into the Rockies. We're going to see warm weather across the plains, and we're going to see that severe weather here again across Oklahoma and Texas, as we have a low pressure center and a cold front, and we do have a warm front that's going to be bringing more of those showers and thunderstorms into the central plains and to the northern plains. So Minnesota, the Dakotas, down through Iowa and Nebraska, down through Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, going to see those showers and that severe weather once again. But beautiful, nice, dry weather and warm conditions across parts of East Texas, as well as through Louisiana, Arkansas. So the Mid-South, the Ozarks there, the mid-Mississippi River Valley, down across the southeast, the Gulf Coast, so the I-10 corridor, I-95, 85, and 75 will see nice, mild weather conditions for your Wednesday and Thursday as we get ready for the next storm, for this storm system to make its way across the country. Now, as far as this storm is concerned, we're going to see a lot of rainfall here across parts of central and southern Texas and into North Texas, Oklahoma, up through Kansas and Missouri, where we can see those heavy amounts of rain, where we can see up to 8 inches of rainfall. So a lot of much needed rain across the central and southern plains this week here in the midweek, as we have the remnants of Hurricane Norma, as well as a mid-latitude storm that is moving across the country right now, and it's going to be bringing that severe weather. And then on the backside, we're going to see that wintry precipitation with gusty winds, much colder air, and heavy snow for some parts of the Midwest and the northern tier of the United States. So get ready for that. Here is the other end of our storm system, where we have another area of low pressure across the Great Lakes. So in the Great Lakes tomorrow, so from Minneapolis up to Mill Green Bay, through parts of northern Michigan, Traverse City up there, north of Detroit, we're going to see a lot more heavy rain. Where 4 to 5 inches of rain is going to be possible. We're going to see very heavy rain, a lot of soaking rain, and severe thunderstorms as well across the Midwest. So the entire Midwest, that includes Chicago, Peoria, Des Moines, Iowa, down through Omaha, Nebraska, Kansas City, St. Louis, Memphis, Indianapolis, across the Ohio Valley. Heavy rain and severe thunderstorms is in the forecast for you guys Wednesday and into Thursday. So get ready for that severe weather as we see that wet weather continue through the middle part of the week here. And here we are with the taste of winter. This is a big bite of winter. This is going to be more than just a taste, unfortunately. We're going to see that cool and chilly weather spread across the southwest, so into Southern California, the desert southwest, but further to the north of our jet stream that's troughing right now and dropping down to the south. Very cold, heavy snow, that area of low pressure up there across northern Wisconsin, Washington. We're going to see that snow across Montana, North to South Dakota, northwestern Minnesota, down through Idaho, Oregon, as well as through Wyoming and into Colorado. So we're going to be seeing that wintry weather with that snow, and some places can pick up as much as a foot of snow, and very gusty winds, much colder temperatures as well. Here is that wet weather through Wednesday. We'll see that rain out over the Pacific Northwest. So Seattle, Portland, Medford is going to see heavy, very good soaking rain. We're going to see that snow through Montana and North Dakota and southern Canada, and we're going to see that rain and snow down through Idaho, as well as we have that strengthening and advancing storm system across the northern tier of the United States that's going to eventually make its way to the northeast. And then across the Northern Rockies as well, we're going to see that snow where we can pick up in isolated cases as much as 36 inches of snow. So 3 feet of snow is going to be possible among some of the higher elevations of the Rockies out there through central Montana near the Glacier National Park there. We're going to see that heavy snow through western Montana and northwestern Wyoming. So if you're in Cody, Jackson, you're going to see that heavier snowfall amount. So that's going to be great for the Snow Bowl area. That's going to be great for the ski resorts to get an early start on their ski season to pick up those heavy amounts of snow with this incoming storm system. And then it's going to be winter-like cold. It's going to suck. That cold is going to bite. You're going to feel those temperatures in the negative to -5. You're going to see those temperatures from single digits, 0 up to 10 above. So we're going to see that bitterly cold weather across Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Minnesota. We're going to see that bitterly cold. That's going to suck. We're not ready for that yet. Man, I'm not happy with this forecast. I wish I was a liar right now, but I'm not. Unfortunately, it's going to be quite a shock to everybody to feel how cold it's going to get in October. So Halloween is going to be a trick or treat for you, all right, for our our winter-like conditions that will prevail when the kiddos is going out for trick or treating. They're gonna need to wear winter coats, real coats up here in Minnesota, not no light jackets. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna feel like freaking January. I promise you that. So here is that cold weather. We're gonna see that cold expand across the upper Midwest and the plains and the Rockies, and it's gonna feel like the single digit 0 to single digits above 0, and maybe a few degrees below 0 in some locations, especially right in here. We're gonna see it below 0, so it's gonna feel like winter. Good grief, man. I'm sorry to have to do this to you, but here we are with that winter precipitation. We're gonna see that rain over here in the Twin Cities as we get through Thursday night. Do you see that rain there from Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan? We're going to see that rain over eastern South Dakota, eastern Nebraska, northwestern Iowa. But look at the snow. North Dakota, heavy snow where we can pick up as much as a foot. So heavy snow across North Dakota, and we're going to see that snow through Montana, Idaho as well, and down through Wyoming, even into Casper and Cheyenne. We could pick up a good 6 to 8 inches. So some pretty significant snow, significant rainfall across the greater northern areas as well. Several inches of rain is going to occur with this storm system as we move into Thursday and Thursday night. So a rainy week is on store across the Northland. So again, this is where we're going to be seeing for the weekend wintry weather across the upper Midwest here, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Twin Cities, Wisconsin. Look at that snow this weekend, and we're going to see a rain and snow mixed right about here in this pink. So if you say central Wisconsin, central Iowa, parts of central Nebraska, northwestern Kansas, and northeastern Colorado, we're going to see that band of frozen precipitation mix. Rain and snow, some sleet, maybe some freezing rain as well. Freezing rain is going to be probably the most predominant, and this is my least favorite thing as far as winter weather is concerned because it's excessively slippery. But we're going to also see rain through the central and the upper Midwest here and into the northeast as we head into the weekend. Lots of heavy rain once again. Another soaker in store for New York, Boston, and Washington, D.C. So the 8th consecutive wet weekend across the Northeast, unfortunately, but remaining dry across the South and the Southeast. Beautiful weather across the Southeast for you guys this weekend, so enjoy that. And cool conditions across the desert Southwest, and pretty cold up in across the Northern Rockies and in the Pacific Northwest as well. We're going to feel it 30s across the Seattle and Portland area, those 30s and 40s. So it's going to be quite chilly during the day and kind of pretty cold at night as well. So on the backside of this very strong storm system that's going to be pulling that really cold air down from Canada. So we're going to see polar air invading the United States. Now, I do have to emphasize that this is an El Nino year. So that doesn't mean the forecast is for it to be warmer than average across the north. but that doesn't mean that you won't have cold shots or cold spells. That doesn't mean it won't be cold. It just means that overall, the general pattern is going to work itself being towards warmer than average overall. If you take the winter as a whole, it'll be warmer than average with cold spells and below average snow as well. So typically, I notice in my experience, I've seen several El Ninos in my lifetime, and usually for me, what I've experienced here in Minnesota is the winter weather starts early in El Nino and ends early. So the last significant El Nino was in 2012. We received 22 inches that year of snow. We averaged about 51 inches a year. That's our average. We had 22 that year, and that year the snow was all melted away by February, and by mid-March we were in the mid-80s. So typically how El Nino, we can see an early start and a bit less snow overall, even though this kind of sucks and it's not in line with what El Nino, but can happen. You know, it doesn't guarantee that we will have a lower than average snowfall or a warmer, but overall, yeah. So, but this is just, we're going to have to take a bite of this sandwich, and we're going to all take a bite of this sandwich together. All right. So, we're going to take a cold. So, this is going to be Halloween. Halloween is going to suck across the north. Brisk and colder across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the upper Midwest, the Northern Plains. It's going to be cold, bitterly cold, winter cold, right? Cold, heavy cold, all right? And then across the Rockies, going to be cold, typical, seasonably cold, chilly, pleasant across the West Coast and the desert Southwest. Wet down here in Texas, still wet across the Mid-Atlantic and the Appalachians and the Northeast, still rainfall and cold, but warmer along the southeastern coast and Florida. Very nice there for Halloween. But so if you're in the Northeast, New England, if you're along the Appalachians, if you're in the low to mid Mississippi River Valley, the Gulf Coast, from Louisiana down through South Texas, if you're in Texas, umbrellas might be needed for your Halloween activities. If you're in Minneapolis, Chicago, Kansas City, St. Louis, you're going to need to wear a coat because it's going to be cold and it's going to be windy too. And if you're in places like Denver, Salt Lake City, a light jacket, seasonally chilly for this time of the year. San Francisco, Los Angeles, beautiful. San Diego, beautiful. Phoenix, beautiful. Portland, Seattle, going to be brisk and chilly. Maybe some random showers as well. So an umbrella and a medium jacket for you guys. So that is what the Halloween is going to look like. Now, in the Northeast, we're going to have a temperature turnaround in the Northeast this week. So we're going to see a nice warm up before that rain and stormy weather makes its way by the weekend. But at least as we end the work week, it's going to be nice across the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic and the Great Lakes out there. So enjoy that before that wet weather comes in to ruin your weekend once again. And then the fall foliage. Unfortunately, you've passed the peak now up here in New England and the Adirondacks and in the mountains here. You've passed the peak, but you're just coming into the peak in the southern Ohio Valley. And Kentucky, I think, is nice. The southern areas of the Appalachian Mountains is really nice. Shenandoah over this way is just coming into their peak season. So that's a great place to go and watch the leaves change colors. But if you're in the Northeast and New England, you've already passed the peak. So everything is just brown and kind of gross looking now. So you've already missed that point. But if you're further to the south, through parts of maybe Missouri, southern Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, you can still see some beautiful fall leaves over in those areas and further to the south. And here is our warmth that we're seeing across the gradual warm up across the southeast, and we're going to see that high pressure bring in some warmer air, a little bit more moisture as well. So the humidity will go up slightly, but not too bad. But we're going to see those temperatures hit those 80s and a few 90s across the southeast for Atlanta, Nashville, Charlotte, down Jacksonville, New Orleans. So if you're in those cities, have a nice weekend and enjoy the week for you guys, okay? You guys are going to be our weather area of the year, of the week here. The southeast is going to have beautiful weather. It's going to turn cold and windy across the northeast after this rain moves through this week. Next week, Halloween, boom, it's going to be cold. About 15 degrees below the historical average, breezy as well. A stiff wind is going to be coming about from the northwest, 20 to 30 miles per hour. So definitely cold weather for your trick-or-treating or Halloween parties, whatever you got going on. So get ready for that slap in the face after your treat this week and some rain this weekend. Next week, boom, it's going to be freezing for you across the northeast. That's your Halloween look at the forecast. My name is Mr. G. We won't have a video tomorrow because I have a quiz to do in the evening and some other homework. So we won't have a video, but we'll be back on Thursday with you guys with another video to get you ready for the weekend and talk a little bit more about that Halloween forecast. So enjoy the rain to the areas that need it. We don't really need the severe weather and tornadoes, and we've had some of those. We had some very powerful thunderstorms today. It was a loud afternoon across the Twin Cities. So I will see y'all in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.